How do, or should I say, howdy, because this story is coming from the United States. I think it's my first one actually. It's going to be another quite emotional one, but again, it's not going to be as bad as that last one that I've just posted from Glasgow. I mean, that was just horrendous. If you haven't watched that one and you are easily upset, I'd probably say avoid that one. And it's half an hour long, so it's not nice. But this one is. Same sort of ballpark, not quite. From reading the heading, though, because I don't read the full article first. From reading the heading, I think it is going to be quite bad, though. So anyway, as I always say, please visit the site. I'll put the link. I will put the link below. Please visit the site. It just helps these sites, get a bit of ad revenue. They're creating this content that we're using for this video, like you're viewing and I'm reading. Costs us nothing to go visit the sites. I'm not sponsored in any way, so please don't think I'm trying to profit from that, because I'm not. It's just, I think, good courtesy to do so. Anyway, on with the story and over to America. Married university scientists locked their kids in cages while they worked. Two married scientists at the University of Florida allegedly locked their children up in cages while they went to work. What the hell is going on there? Sorry. Sorry, I've got for those who don't know, I've got a bit of a viral infection on my chest. I've had it for about 3 weeks. I can't clear it. But what the hell is going on? Why would you lock your kids in cages? They're just nuts, innit? Dustin Huff, 35, and Yuri G, 31, were taken into custody after their 6-year-old son said he did not want to go home because the father built a cage to lock him in while the mother worked, according to an arrest report obtained by clickorlando.com. So this isn't Click Orlando, this is Metro. This, like I said, I'll put the link, but there is a hyperlink on this page as well. Cops investigated the couple's home in Gainesville, Florida, and found a wooden cage with bolts outside the boy's bedroom, the report states. I mean, so calling it a cage is a little bit of an overstatement, but I suppose it's a prison cell, in effect. I mean, what is a prison cell? It's a fancy cage for people. So, I mean, I don't think these people need killing. I don't think they need the death sentence. They certainly need flogging, though. That is something that they definitely bring the cat o' nine tails back. Definitely put them in pillories. Definitely give them 10 lashes on the back, and also prison. The boy told police that he was caged in overnight and had to wear diapers until 7 a.m. when it was time for school. Police said, I mean, that is just awful. I don't get this. I mean, my youngest is my son and he's 5, and my oldest, my daughter, she's 10 soon, and I've got two identical twins in the middle. And there's kids that go into primary school, what we call primary school over here. I don't know what you call it in America. But primary school is 5, 4, can be 4, but between 4 and 5, starting in September, and it goes on until 10 years old, possibly. No, it might be 11, between 10 and 11. So that sort of period. But there's kids turning up at like 5, what we call reception, which is the first year, and they're wearing nappies, and I think some kids up to like 10 years old are wearing nappies. That's just laziness. There's no excuse for that. I mean, these people are supposed to be intelligent. I'm just a thick old truck driver. None of my kids wear nappies. And they all stopped wearing nappies when they were about 3 years old. It's not rocket science to train kids to not pee in the pants. It's just a bit of perseverance and not being lazy. Just idiots. Some of the thickest people I've known have got PhDs, and I mean that like, seriously. They are absolute. I mean, in the field, they know a lot, but I think a lot of them, they're not even that high IQ. I think they may be, and it's not the low IQ. They may be. If I was to guess, they're probably about 120, 120 IQ. Which isn't low IQ, but they're not smart enough to understand that they're not geniuses. So they think they've got a PhD that they're a genius, and they're not. They're just very good at doing as they're told, like really good and intelligent enough to be able to structure the time and plan out, like what they're doing, which is why they've been able to do the PhDs. They've got that capability to do that, but they're not like Stephen Hawking's. They're not like Nikola Tesla's or something like that, and they don't get it. They think they're in that field, and they're not. They're just midwits. That Cops investigated the. Oh, I've read that. The boy told police he was caged overnight and had to wear diapers until 7 a.m. when it was time for school. He also said that Xi would lock him in the cage after school before she left the house until Huff returned from work. I wonder if she's stepmom or biological mum. Investigators also discovered a makeshift cage in the bathroom closet of the couple that turned out to be an upside-down crib allegedly used to contain the other child. I mean, that's just like something. That's the sort of thing that you'd expect seeing like an adult comedy cartoon like Family Guy. You know what I mean? That is just ludicrous that they're doing that. Age 2. The crib had loose wiring and metal springs that could cause injury, cops said. The 6-year-old boy demonstrated that in order to place his sibling in the upside-down crib, you had to pick the front of the crib up and place his siblings in the upside-down crib role place. He added, I didn't want anyone to get in trouble. I just didn't want to be in the cage. No, I'm surprised, poor little thing. Probably absolutely traumatising being locked in there. I mean, my kids are never locked anyway. The only time there's ever a door between me and them locked is when I'm in the bathroom, and rightly so. You know, I mean, even in the middle of the night, like last night. I mean, I'm divorced. You know, last night I ended up with 3 of my kids in my bed through the night. You know, two of my daughters and my son. They all decided to get different places of the night. They all got in bed with me. So what? You know, it's what kids do. You can't be locking them in the bedrooms. That's just cruel and. I couldn't imagine doing that to my kids. It's just disgusting behaviour. He added, I didn't want anyone to get in trouble. I just didn't want to be in the cage. No, absolutely not. The couple showed their homemade cages as if it were all normal, said cops. I mean, look at this guy. I wouldn't go as far as to call him a nonce, but he's definitely a wrong un. And her as well. You know, they're clearly not diddling the kids, but it's definitely child abuse. You know, it's not right, and which is why I'm saying they shouldn't be killed. You know, they don't deserve the death penalty for that, but they definitely deserve lashing. Absolutely lashing for that. You know, we should really make flogging great again, because flogging was a really useful tool back in the day. You know, pillories. You know, like getting put in the public square. You put in the stocks for the afternoon. People would throw rotten vegetables and animal effluent at you. Absolutely bring that back. We absolutely need that. You know, human technology might have changed, but people haven't. We haven't changed for probably about 100,000 years. You know, since our last significant evolutionary jump. You know, why people think that we should be getting rid of these time-proven traditional ways of dealing with criminal activity and antisocial behaviour, I'll never know. Like people think now because we've got mobile phones and technology that suddenly, we've ascended our baser human instincts and needs and urges. No, we really haven't. We are still the literal same people who used to run across open fields chasing big hairy animals with sharpened sticks. You know, we are literally still those people right now. We just happen to have technology in our hands. You know, we are literally still just hairless apes. And people need to get a grip of this. Like these sorts of things work for a reason. It's why religion should be followed, because religion, even though we didn't have the technology, one thing we could do was sit down and think about society. And religions are the boiling down of what works to make society work and function. And it might not be nice, you might not like it, you might not want to get on with those rules, but you follow those rules and society works. It's why the West has been so successful, because we follow those rules in that book. It kept society. It kept us from killing each other, basically, and and because it gave us guidelines and even give us the actual wonderful thing of which is forgiveness, which I believe these people are deserving of eventually once they've been punished, you know, and learn the lesson. Some things are unforgivable though, like those Scottish people. Absolutely, that is unforgivable. That is not in my heart, I'm afraid. And I'm probably failing as a Christian there, but I cannot forgive those people for that. I think certain things are. But it does say in the Bible, do not hurt the smallest ones, or they get the millstones around the neck. I'm not used to walking in and seeing a cage where children, I don't think anybody's used to seeing that, where children are kept at night. And of course, when Home Alone said Gainesville Police Sergeant John Pandak, according to Fox. I mean, you know what? Hats off to this police sergeant for not giving these two an absolute kicking. You know, I think a lot of American police carry those big Maglite torches around. How we didn't batter them around the heads with that, I'll never know, because I couldn't not do that. You know, I would definitely be banging on a rear naked choke onto them or an armbar or something. You know. Huff and Xi, and that includes the woman as well. I'd be fully equal rights with her in the physical abuse. I'd give to her as well. Absolutely, for doing that to those kids. Disgusting. Huff and Xi were arrested on December 8th and charged with child neglect and 2 counts of child abuse. They were being held on $600,000 bonds each. Both biological scientists have been placed on administrative leave, the University of Florida told ClickOrlando.com on Thursday. The crime comes nearly 4 years after a pair of grandparents allegedly imprisoned their young grandchildren in wooden cages attached to their beds at their home in Smith Station, Alabama. That's the whole story. Not as long as the last one, obviously, it was half an hour, that one, but just crazy, crazy, crazy people, you know. I mean, what the hell's going through your head to think that caging your kids is acceptable? You know, not even people in the medieval times knew that was medieval and barbaric. You know, I know there was obviously some freaks around then, but we hear these horror stories from like back in the day. But it's like the 1 in a million story that you hear about. You know, and I know this is the same, but these people are supposed to be intelligent people. Like, what the hell is wrong with the universities where you've got these so-called educated people thinking this is acceptable? I mean, I think it's endemic of a wider problem in the higher education, to be honest with you, where they're very anti-human, anti-children in general. It's just weird, weird, weird world, the educated class. Very, very strange people, a lot of them. And if you're educated and you're disgusted by this, you know, this isn't aimed at you. You know, I'm not, I know I'm speaking in generalised terms. I don't mean it like all people who are educated, obvious. I hope that's obvious, you know. But unfortunately, I can't help but speak in generalised terms, you know, because there's so many of these stories coming out at the moment. You know, these highly educated people being absolute weirdos and nonsense. It's very crazy. Apart from those ones from Glasgow, they were just absolute dregs. Absolute just scum of the earth. You know, no use to man and the beast. Anyway, if you found that informative or interesting or however you want to phrase it, it's not really nice, is it? Or I can't say you would have enjoyed it, because I didn't. But you found it at least in some way, I don't know, useful. Please like, subscribe, and give us a comment below. I'll see about getting another video on shortly. Take care now. Bye bye.